came back into the market in a very big way.
What we know now is Wall Street can bring down Main Street.
People are seeing this, and those memories of fear are coming back.
When you have a 401k or a 403b, those kinds of accounts, they are incredibly susceptible to downturns.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 900 points. More than 900 points.
There are questions about how to best save for retirement.
Part of the problem is confusion.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
The first rule in investment is don't lose. And the second rule in investment is don't forget the first rule. And that's all the rules there are.
When the market goes up, you go up. When the market goes down, you don't go down. Save Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
Welcome to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Brad is a retirement and income specialist, primarily serving Springfield, but he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Pistole is a licensed life insurance professional in the states of Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas, and he specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who have already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies.
Save Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
And now, here to talk with you about securing your retirement, your host, Brad Pistole.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I tell you what, let's do. Let's start today's show with breaking news that's hot off the presses right here in 2024. This just in. Research finds that retirees with annuities spend twice as much as those with equivalent investment assets. Now, as you know, I spend a lot of time on this show talking about the research of people like Dr. Wade Pfau, Dr. Michael Finca, and Dr. David Blanchett. That's because they've done extensive research on retirement income planning, and they have the data to back up their research. In June of 2024, a new article appeared in ThinkAdvisor, and it was written by John Manganaro. The title of the article was "The Income Strategy That Gives Retirees a License to Spend." And in the article, he quotes Dr. Michael Finca and Dr. David Blanchett several times. Now, I've had Dr. Finca and Dr. Blanchett on this show, and their research is top-notch. So I want to share this information with you today, and I'll be quoting different parts of the article from time to time. According to this article, Dr. Michael Finca and Dr. David Blanchett find that retirees in general don't spend nearly as much as they could from their investments. In fact, they said, we find strong evidence that households holding a greater share of their wealth in guaranteed income spend more each year than retirees who hold more of their wealth in investments. Some financial professionals view guaranteed annuities as a sacrifice of potential portfolio growth because you have to use those assets to purchase the guaranteed income annuity. But new data from retirement researchers David Blanchett and Michael Finca argues that this perspective by these advisors misses a very important point. The data shows annuities in real life act less as a defensive tool for those afraid of running out of money and more as a license to spend. By shifting a portion of non-annuitized wealth into annuitized wealth, Finca and Blanchett find the typical retiree could feel comfortable spending twice as much each year per dollar of accumulated savings. Economic theory provides both rational and behavioral explanations for underspending among retirees with high non-annuitized wealth. Blanchett and Finca both go on to say, rational risk-averse retirees will spend less because they don't know how long they will live and they face the risk of outliving their savings. Then they talk about the several different behavioral hurdles that gets created by the many different fears we face in retirement and how this often leads to spending less in retirement. They talk about the difference they find when people spend from sources of guaranteed income versus sources that spend down their assets. Dr. Finca and Dr. Blanchett find that retirees in general don't spend nearly as much as they could from their investments, and this is due to the fact that most people don't like watching their account balances go down, so they in turn spend less. we find strong evidence that households holding a greater share of their wealth in guaranteed income spend more each year than retirees who hold more of their wealth in investments. This is spoken by Dr. Michael Finca and Dr. David Blanchett. Marginal estimates indicate that investment assets generate about half of the amount of additional spending as an equivalent amount of wealth held in guaranteed income, like the income generated from things like annuities. Then Dr. Finca and Dr. Blanchett said this. In other words, retirees spend twice as much in retirement if they hold guaranteed income wealth instead of investment wealth. Therefore, for every dollar of assets converted to guaranteed income, this could result in twice the equivalent spending when compared to money left invested in a portfolio. Now, friends, isn't this interesting? The people with their PhDs have spent the past several years teaching people about the power of guaranteed lifetime income from annuities and how this can increase the amount of money that you're able to spend in retirement. And keep this in mind, they're not advisors. They don't get paid one single penny if you decide to buy an annuity. In fact, they often say they are agnostic when it comes to financial products. They don't care if you own stocks, bonds, annuities, life insurance, real estate, silver, gold, or crypto. They simply do the research regarding what works best in retirement income planning, and they develop conclusions based on the math and the science. This is exactly what I've spent my entire career doing. Friends, I'm a retirement income certified professional through the American College of Financial Services, and I've spent the past 15 years sitting at the feet of America's IRA expert and tax advisor, Ed Slott. I've spent my entire career showing people how to maximize their retirement income while paying the least amount of tax possible. Tax-free beats taxable every day of the week, and guaranteed lifetime income beats variable and what-if income by a mile. You see, no one wants to worry about whether or not their income is going to decrease every time they see the market drop during retirement. And it's not just the market. It's interest rates and inflation and political craziness unlike anything we've ever seen. Now, what do I mean by political craziness? Well, it's simple. Our nation is $35 trillion in debt, and this number is growing by $1 trillion every 100 days. Now, just let that sink in for a minute. Our national debt is growing by $1 trillion every 100 days. Friends, are you 100% certain that your current financial plan will survive current market conditions and this current administration? If not, you need to be working with a retirement income expert. Call us anytime at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. I've written 2 best-selling books, and my newest book is called Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. And you can go on Amazon and order this book, but I would love to give you a copy absolutely free. This book talks about the research of many of the people that we've had on as guests on this show, people with their PhDs, and their only agenda is helping you achieve the retirement income of your dreams. So call us anytime and ask for a free consultation. We will take a look at your current plan and make sure you are set up to receive maximum lifetime income while paying the least amount of taxes possible. Our number is 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. This is Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I'll be right back after this informative message.
Business owners, some of you have worked 20 and even 30 years to build your business. You're ready to sell this asset and go into retirement. You don't want to risk or lose any of your hard-earned money. Property owners, have you just sold your property and need to turn that money into lifetime income? How about 401k participants? Have you recently changed jobs or reached age 59 and a half and have a retirement account that you don't want to expose to market loss? If you have money you're counting on for retirement, we can ensure that you sleep at night with our income and wealth preservation planning. Don't gamble your life's work away if you are nearing or in retirement. Take some chips off the table and do something to take the stress out of retirement. Call 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Now back to more Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistol.
Thank you for tuning in to Safe Money Radio. I am Brad Pistol, a market risk mitigation specialist, helping clients with retirement money preservation and income planning. Friends, on today's show, we're talking about 2024 research from Dr. Michael Finca and Dr. David Blanchett. They were recently interviewed for an article by John Manganaro for Think Advisor, and the title of that article was The Income Strategy That Gives Retirees a License to Spend. And that's what we all want, isn't it? We want a way to use as much money as we possibly can without ever having to worry about running out of it. And my good friend and world-renowned economist Tom Hegna says this: retirement isn't about how big your pile of money is. Retirement is all about income. What does he mean by this? Well, he means you need to stop staring at your assets. Why? Because your assets can be lost. They can be stolen. They can be swindled. They can be sued and taken away from you, and they can be decimated by a stock market crash. But do you know what can't be affected by these things? Guaranteed lifetime income. When you establish contractually guaranteed lifetime income, the paychecks never stop. They never stop no matter how long you live and no matter what happens in the world around you. So let's continue with the research of Dr. Michael Finca and Dr. David Blanchett. In a recent Think Advisor article in June of 2024, they said, a risk-averse retiree will prefer to avoid a possible drop in future spending and will spend less to ensure the longevity of their nest egg. But a risk-tolerant retiree will accept the possibility of a shortfall and they'll spend more in early retirement. Now remember, this research is based on math and science, not opinions, so listen to what the article says next. The analysis considers a risk-adverse retired opposite-sex couple with a high relative risk aversion, with a much more risk-tolerant retired couple. Each holds a portfolio of bonds to fund spending in retirement with an expected rate of return of 4%. Based on traditional Monte Carlo planning projections, the risk-adverse retired couple can maximize expected well-being in retirement by withdrawing 3.8% from their bond portfolio each year, while compared, the risk-tolerant retiree will maximize expected utility by withdrawing 4.9% from the portfolio. However, had each couple annuitized their savings at retirement, the average annual payout from the top 5 quotes available on Canex for a single premium immediate annuity for a joint couple at age 65 with a cash refund provision would be 6.3%. Now, that was at the time this was written. So which would you prefer? 3.8%, 4.9%, or 6.3% spending ratio? Dr. Michael Finca and Dr. Blanchett go on to say this: by transferring longevity risk to an institution, for example, a pension or an insurance company, they could spend between 29% risk tolerant and 66% risk adverse each year. Spending less is the national response of a risk-adverse retiree to accepting the possibility of outliving their savings. Now, friends, if you've listened to the show for very long, you know I've had both Dr. Michael Finca and Dr. Blanchett on this show. I've been reading their research for years, and I've personally experienced the results of their research in my own financial planning, which is exactly why I personally own 7 different annuities. They are among the most respected and the most followed researches in the financial planning industry, and they constantly talk about the powerful role annuities and guaranteed income forms play in a retirement plan. Listen to what they had to say at the end of this article in Think Advisor. The transfer of longevity risk to an institution allows the retiree to, on average, live better by spending more each year than a retiree who fails to transfer this risk. The low rate of spending among retirees who hold wealth in investments rather than guaranteed income suggests that advisors can significantly improve retiree welfare by offering clients the opportunity to increase annuitized wealth through delayed Social Security claiming and private income annuities. Friends, if you've listened to this show or the podcast for very long, you know I'm a huge advocate for delaying your Social Security payments as long into the future as possible. Where else are you going to find an 8% guaranteed roll-up with cost of living adjustments? And that's exactly what you're going to get for every year you delay taking Social Security. When you combine the power of increased lifetime Social Security payments with guaranteed lifetime income from the right annuity, you'll find yourself on the road to the retirement of your dreams. And if you're blessed to be someone with a pension to throw in the mix, you will have 3 different forms of guaranteed lifetime income. Now, I was blessed to sit at the feet of Dr. David Blanchett and Dr. Michael Finca while studying for my Retirement Income Certified Professional designation through the American College. And I can tell you this, their research is top notch. They've been showing people the optimum way to retire for years, and their research is based on the combined knowledge of people like Dr. Wade Fowle, Dr. Alex Margia, Tom Hegna, Heather Schreiber, Ed Slott, and many other colleagues who teach at the American College of Financial Services who have all been guests on this show. You don't hear them anywhere else locally. You hear them right here with me on Safe Money Radio. When was the last time you stopped and thought about your current retirement income plan? Friends, do you even have a plan? Or are you like most people? Most people spend their entire lives working and saving in their 401k or their company plan, but when it comes time to retire, they don't have the foggiest clue where to start. You see, once retirement begins and the paychecks stop from the job, do you know where and how to start taking distributions in the most tax-efficient way? Have you ever sat down with a financial expert who is trained in decumulation strategies? You see, most advisors are focused on the climb up the mountain. A retirement income specialist is trained on how to come back down the mountain during your retirement years. And this is what matters most. Remember, it is not what you make. It's what you keep after taxes that matters most. And it really doesn't matter if you have $500,000 in your 401k. Remember, that's all tax deferred. And if you don't know how to get the money back out without it being 100% taxable to you and your heirs, that means your $500,000 401k might only be worth $250,000. What happens if you pay 40 to 50% in federal and state taxes over the lifetime of your distributions? Friends, taxes matter, and so does guaranteed lifetime income that you can never outlive. Are you 100% sure your current financial plan will survive current market conditions and this current administration? If not, you need to be working with a retirement income expert. Just call me anytime at 866-780-7233. I'll give you a free copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. This book talks about the research of many of the people we've had as guests on the show, people with their PhDs, and their only agenda is helping you achieve the retirement income of your dreams. Call us and ask for a free financial consultation. We'll take a look at your current plan and make sure you're set up to receive maximum lifetime income while paying the least amount of taxes possible. Our number is 866-780-7233, and there's always someone standing by to take your call. Well, I must take a short break. This is Brad Pistole, and you're listening to Safe Money Radio. Let's pause for some exciting announcements.
The market goes up and the market goes down. It always has, and it always will. But if you are in or near retirement, do you have the time to wait for the market to go through these cycles? Think about it. Having your money invested in the market is like walking next to the edge of a cliff. What if you lose your step? What if the edge gives way? What if a strong wind blows you over the side? It is good to stay away from the edge of disaster in life, and when it comes to being exposed to financial risk, it is no different. Shouldn't you at least try to protect the money you depend on for your retirement income? Pick up the phone and call us now to receive your complimentary Safe Money Information Kit and a copy of Brad's best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. Our phone number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back. I'm Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I am a capital preservation and strategic income planning specialist working with clients right here in Springfield and Ozark, Missouri. Friends, if you're just now joining us on the show today or on the podcast, we've been talking about recent research from Dr. David Blanchett and Dr. Michael Finca. Now, you might be thinking, well, who in the world are they and why should I care? Well, David Blanchett is the head of retirement research for PGIM DC Solutions, and Michael Finca is the professor of wealth management at the American College of Financial Services. They have spent this past several years talking about the license to spend for retirees, and they have written and have been interviewed and featured in dozens of national publications discussing this research. In 2024, a piece in Investment News featured Dr. Blanchett and Dr. Finca, and it was titled, "Retirees Spend Twice as Much When They Have Guaranteed Income, Research Finds." This was featured on July 1st, 2024, and was written by Emily Hillez. And I want to share some of this with you today. The article starts off by saying, guaranteed income sources like Social Security, pension assets, and annuities give people a license to spend more in retirement, according to new research. The research is that people think about guaranteed income sources differently than they do their savings. A survey that was part of this research found that nearly 60% of respondents said they would feel more comfortable spending non-essentials if the money came from an extra $10,000 of income rather than from a lump sum of $140,000, which is equivalent to the cost of an income annuity. This is probably the most important reason to consider allocating more savings to lifetime income. This is what David Blanchett said, who is an author of the report and the head of the retirement research for PGIM DC Solutions. He went on to say, having more of your wealth that is protected or guaranteed for life will lead to an environment where someone is more likely to enjoy their savings versus just looking at one big pot of money. A factor that makes spending from savings difficult is fear of the unknown, and something almost no one knows is how long they're going to live. It's really hard to know how much you can spend from a portfolio. We don't know what markets are going to do in the future and how long you're going to live. And then Dr. David Blanchett said this, it's difficult behaviorally to spend money from your savings. And then his good friend and colleague, Dr. Michael Finca, shared some of his research. And listen to what he said. For financial advisors, a takeaway from the new research is that retirement spending can often be increased, and the two most common ways to do this are using savings to delay Social Security claiming to age 70 or to buy private annuities with guaranteed income components. If your client's goal is spending, then creating opportunities to give them the comfort to spend is ultimately your goal. Your goal is not asset preservation if the client wants to live better. Your goal is to create a plan that helps them live the lifestyle they want to live. And while retirement spending is often tapered, there really isn't much thought given to adjusting upward and thinking about ways that advisors can create a retirement income plan that allows a client to spend more. And then Dr. Finca went on to say, there are many advisors who don't consider any type of annuity as part of an individual's retirement income plan, and I think that is problematic, given the effect that this can have on spending. You save for retirement to enjoy retirement. Friends, are you listening to what the doctors with their PhDs have to say about retirement income planning and spending? They're saying there are way too many advisors who never consider annuities and guaranteed lifetime income as part of the retirement plan for their clients. And he says that is problematic. It is a way to increase the spending, and both Dr. Michael Finca and Dr. David Blanchett say it can double the spending when you know the income is guaranteed. As we end the show today, I want to share with you something that Dr. David Blanchett said. He said financial advisors who address retirement income through efficient portfolios but don't consider guaranteed income options for clients should think about having all essential living expenses covered by an annuity or other income source. So much of the time when I meet with clients who have listened to the show or to the podcast, they say the same things. They say things like this: Brad, this information is incredible. Why haven't I ever heard about this before, and why aren't more people using annuities as part of their retirement income plan? And the answer is simple. We are creatures of habit, and we tend to follow the masses, especially if our father and our grandfather and their grandfather did it. And guess what's on every single street corner in this country? Brokerage firms. And guess what brokerage firms want? They want the same thing you want. They want guaranteed lifetime income. And guess who provides their guaranteed lifetime income to them? You do. You see, friends, the majority of financial advisors and brokers don't have to use their own assets to purchase annuities for their families. Why? Because you are their annuity. They say they hate annuities, but they love annuities, and you're their annuity. They charge you fees to manage your accounts for the lifetime of the accounts, so you provide their guaranteed lifetime income every day, every week, every month, every year for the rest of their lives. That's whether the market goes up or goes down. Even when they lose your money, they still collect fees from you, and you provide their guaranteed lifetime income. Friends, don't be fooled. In 2023, retirees moved over $400 billion into the safety of guaranteed lifetime income annuities. And in 2024, they're doing the same thing. Friends, I'm one person in Ozark, Missouri, though I do serve people all across the United States. As one person, I've moved more than $30 million into the safety of guaranteed lifetime income annuities in 6 months in 2024. Don't tell me people don't want to do this. People want to do it in record numbers. And why? Why do they want to move their assets from risk to safety? Because of the research of people like Dr. Michael Finca and Dr. David Blanchett. The retirement researchers who have their PhDs know you will have more money to spend when you secure it through contractually guaranteed lifetime income sources. This can only happen through Social Security, pensions, and income annuities. Make sure you're working with a retirement income certified professional who is an expert in retirement income. This is exactly what we do all day long, every day. If you would like a free financial consultation, or if you would like to read a copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan, just call us anytime. You can order it on Amazon, but I'll give you a copy absolutely free when we meet. Our number is 866-780-7233. And there's always someone standing by to take your call. Friends, we want to make sure you have the retirement of your dreams, so call us now. This is Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I'll be right back after this informative message.
Is your money sitting on the sidelines in a CD, savings account, or money market account, earning less than it could? If you have your money in a bank, the value of your money is getting destroyed by inflation. Don't let low interest rates get you down. How would you like tax-deferred growth higher than what banks offer? Why let a bank pay you less when you can currently get 3-year and 5-year fixed annuity interest rates of almost 6% tax-deferred? Some fixed annuity contracts even let you access as much as 10% of your account balance surrender penalty-free. Call us now for your short-term money solutions at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Fixed annuities are backed up by the claims-paying ability of the issuing life insurance company and are not FDIC insured. We have software to help you choose from hundreds of highly rated life insurance companies. Call us now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Now back to more Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistol.
Thank you for tuning in to Safe Money Radio. I am Brad Pistol, a market risk mitigation specialist, helping clients with retirement money preservation and income planning. If you've been listening to this show for any amount of time, you know we love to educate people regarding retirement income planning. We've been on the air now for over 15 years, and we have top-notch retirement planning experts as guests on this show who talk to you about cutting-edge tools that will help give you the retirement of your dreams. And friends, today is no different. I'm going to be sharing information with you from a brand new book that was released in 2024. And this book is almost always sold out. It's extremely hard to get. Even financial professionals can't get their hands on it. Why? Because this book was written by my friend Cheryl J. Moore, the CEO of Moore Market Intelligence. She's written articles and publications for Consumer Reports, Financial Advisor Magazine, Investment News, The New York Times, Senior Market Advisor, and The Wall Street Journal. She speaks all over the world to people regarding safe financial planning. Her research has even been presented to Congress to help them better understand this aspect of financial planning. And here's one of the main reasons this book is so popular. It's because there are very few books like it on the planet. The title of this book is Why I Bought Indexed Annuities. And I want you to keep this in mind. Cheryl doesn't sell them. Arguably, she knows more than anyone on the planet about annuities, but she doesn't make a single penny from selling annuities. And that's hard for me to say, friends. I'm a certified annuity specialist. Less than 1% of all financial professionals who sell annuities are certified annuity specialists. And I've structured more than 2,000 annuities during my career, representing more than $300 million. But Cheryl Moore is the GOAT when it comes to knowledge of indexed annuities and life insurance and all things insurance related. Here's the thing, she doesn't sell them. They simply benefit her because she uses them personally to fund and protect her own retirement. Her story is absolutely amazing, so stay with us today. And as we get started, I want to share part of her bio with you so you can know who she is. Some call Cheryl Moore the annuity rock star. Others favor the nickname life insurance nerd. But one thing is for certain, Cheryl is passionately and relentlessly obsessed with insurance products. You see, nearly 20 years ago, she was a young, suddenly single stay-at-home mom with 3 babies in diapers. Having previously managed a grocery store, she wondered where she could possibly find a stable career in the Des Moines, Iowa area. Now, given that Iowa is the second largest insurance capital in the United States and the third largest in the world, a future in the insurance industry seemed imminent. So Cheryl took an administrative position with a life insurance company who enrolled her in her first ever employer-sponsored ownership program, something called the 401k. You ever heard of it? Of course you have. Cheryl didn't know anything about 401ks, and when she asked for help, she wasn't given much direction. Yet one message was repeatedly thrown at Cheryl. You must contribute to this plan to get the 4% match, or else you're throwing away free money. So Moore, a woman who couldn't even afford groceries, broke her back to make the contribution to the 401k so she would get the free match. She swelled with pride as she watched her retirement fund grow. Until it didn't. You see, when the dot-com bubble burst after the turn of the century, Moore's 401k became a 201k because she lost a lot of money. The problem was she didn't know you could lose money in a 401k. When researching how to remedy her situation, she complained to her boss. After listening to her grievance, her boss said this, "Why didn't she just buy an indexed annuity?" Cheryl worked in the life insurance division of this company. She had never heard of an annuity. "What's an annuity?" she asked. Her boss responded, "It is a retirement instrument that can help you accumulate interest until you're ready to retire. When you do retire, an annuity guarantees that you will receive a paycheck every month for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. Cheryl thought it sounded intriguing. She was concerned about outliving her retirement fund. "Well, what's an indexed annuity then?" she asked. Her boss replied, "It's just an annuity that earns interest in a manner that is just like those indexed life insurance products that you're so fascinated with." Now, this sounded great to Cheryl. She understood that the interest on index life was based on the performance of the stock market, but didn't require investing directly in the stock market. Credited interest was limited, but the index component never allowed for a loss of value when the market corrected or had poor performance. You're always guaranteed to receive no less than 0% interest. Convinced that this was the solution for her retirement dilemma, Cheryl said this, "Where can I purchase an indexed annuity?" Her boss just looked at her pathetically and thoughtfully replied, "Cheryl, the company that employs us is the #1 seller of indexed annuities in the country." This is what she thought to herself. What? How can this be? She was so upset. Why would her employer bully her into participating in the 401k where she could lose her money, but not even tell her about a product which they were experts at selling, which was better aligned with her aversion to risk? So she began to research. She wanted to find out more information about indexed annuities prior to making her purchase. However, her efforts were largely fruitless. The library offered no resources. Her internet searches returned nothing useful to aid in her decision. None of the resources she tapped into even mentioned indexed annuity products. She understood that index products were only a few years old at that time, but how could the average consumer find information on index products? Then Cheryl grew concerned when she realized that what had happened to her could also happen to her grandparents and to everyone's grandparents. It was right then and there that a young Cheryl Moore decided that she must work in some capacity to educate and ensure that Americans would have the opportunity to learn about indexed insurance products. So what's she done since then? Well, that's the amazing part of this story, so I want you to stay with us today. I'm going to be talking about her incredible new book, Why I Bought Indexed Annuities, which was released in 2024. And just listen to some of the people who have endorsed Cheryl's new book. Dr. David Blanchett, Dr. Michael Finca, Dr. Wade Pfau, and world-renowned economist Tom Hegna. You ever heard of these people? Well, if you've listened to this show, you've heard of them because I've had all of those people on this show as guests, and you need to hear what they have to say about the information that Cheryl is providing to people who are trying to develop the retirement income plan that is best suited for their family. It's people who don't want to spend their retirement years stressed out about the ups and downs of the market. People who want guaranteed paychecks for the rest of their lives. It's people just like you. Call us anytime at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. We are always here to help you with your financial planning needs. Well, I must take a short break. This is Brad Pistole, and you're listening to Safe Money Radio. Let's pause for some exciting announcements.
Do you own an annuity? Do you understand what it does, how it works, and if it's right for your retirement plan? Some annuities have fees that might not be justified by their benefits. Some annuities are exposed to significant market risk. Worse yet, if an annuity was sold without proper planning, it can cause unintended consequences for your retirement. If you own an annuity, it's probably a good idea to find out more about how it works and if it's right for you. It's time to give Brad Pistole a call now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Brad will help you review the features and benefits of annuities you currently own without any obligation. Once again, you can call Brad now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistol.
Welcome back to Safe Money Radio. I'm Brad Pistol, a certified financial fiduciary and a safe money retirement specialist. Friends, on today's show, we're talking about a brand new book by Cheryl J. Moore, and the title of the book is Why I Bought Indexed Annuities. It was released in 2024, and it's not easy to get your hands on because they're always sold out. Now, after I read the book, I ordered 25 more copies because I knew I had the chance to get them and keep them here at the office. I share this incredible information with our clients who want to learn from the best of the best about indexed annuities and how they work in a retirement income plan. Just listen to what the experts have to say about Cheryl's new book. Cheryl Moore is one of the most well-connected and knowledgeable individuals in the annuity space today. Not one to shy away from some of the more controversial topics. I'd highly recommend anyone who wants to stay abreast of trends in this industry to follow her on LinkedIn and be aware of what she's up to. Friends, that was written by Dr. David Blanchett. This is what Michael Finca said. Cheryl is an epicenter of the annuity community. She knows every company, every person, every product, and she can always be counted on to provide the most informed opinion if you want the real scoop on this industry. And how about world-renowned economist Tom Hegna? This is what he had to say about Cheryl's new book. No one has the pulse of the annuity world like Cheryl Moore. Her research is depended on by Fortune 500 insurance companies. The backstory of her life is one of overcoming obstacles, persistence, and an overwhelming drive of excellence. And here's one I think you'll find interesting. This is from Dr. Wade Pfau, who's been a guest on this show many times. Cheryl has earned her reputation as the true expert on the world of indexed annuities. I'm excited that she has written this book to share her insights with the broadest possible audience. Be ready to learn. And friends, you should find this very interesting. This comes from someone that Dr. David Blanchett, Dr. Michael Finca, and Dr. Wade Pfau all refer to as the smartest person they've ever met. This is from Moshe Milevsky, a professor at York University. He says, in my opinion, Cheryl J. Moore is the single most knowledgeable practitioner about all things annuity, and thus very well deserving of the title guru. So when she talks or writes, you should definitely listen. Friends, that's why you want to listen to what we have to say and share on this show today regarding Cheryl Moore's new book, Why I Bought Indexed Annuities. Just listen to this. If you've ever thought to yourself, I wish there was an easy-to-read go-to book that would tell me exactly what an indexed annuity was and how it worked, then just keep listening. That's exactly what Cheryl does in this book. She covers things like this. Just what is an annuity? She or he who controls the media controls the financial services world. What if I live forever? Saving my money my way. Dispelling common annuity myths. That's an excellent chapter. I want to beat the bank. The money's there when I need it. The power of tax deferral. My family is taken care of when I die. I love this chapter. Ain't nobody got time for that. Market timing, that is. She talks about the ups and downs of the market and how to avoid it. My money is working for me, not some fee-based investment person. That's right. She wrote that chapter in this book. Zero is your hero. What are you getting yourself into? I can customize it. Home runs are possible, and so much more. She even goes into details about the fears that have been programmed and pounded into consumers' brains regarding annuities. You know, all the negative stuff said by the people who get paid to invest your money in other things that puts the money into their pockets. You see, whether you realize it or not, I've been saying this on this show for 15 years, but when someone tells you to never buy an annuity because they have something else they want to sell you, guess what? They love annuities. How do I know? Because you are their annuity. You pay them from your retirement accounts for the rest of your lives. You are their retirement income plan. So friends, I want you to stay with us today because we're going to be talking about some of the things that are covered in this book on the rest of the show. And remember, you can always call us anytime. Our number is 866-780-7233. You can call us anytime to ask for a free copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. Now, here's a little hint about this book. I talk a lot about fixed indexed annuities in this book. I own 7 of them. So there's a reason why I own 7. There's a reason why Cheryl Moore owns 4 of them. There's a reason why Tom Hegna owns 13 of them. Why do so many financial experts own annuities as part of their retirement income plan? Call us and we will tell you exactly why. Our number is 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. If you were listening to earlier segments of the show today, you heard me talk about Cheryl Moore, the author of the book, Why I Purchased Indexed Annuities, and she told her own personal story. She talks about being a young single mother to 3 children while working in the insurance industry at the turn of the century. Now, knowing very little about money and investing, she was told to contribute to the company's 401k plan. After all, you can't pass up the free match and the free money that the company's going to give you, right? This all sounded great until 2001, and then it happened again in 2008, and we all know what happened. Cheryl didn't realize she could lose her money in her 401k, and she talks about her 401k turning into a 201k when she lost half of her money twice. In her book, she says, what on earth kind of world would educate their consumers on only one option for retirement savings? You know what? That's a great question. How many of you have had the 401k option shoved down your throat at work? And yet, no one is telling you about all the other options you have for retirement savings, especially the ones that can protect you from losses and fees. In her book, she goes on to say, what if my grandparents were misled in the same manner that I was? That's when the light bulb turned on for Cheryl. In her book, she writes, this was it. Someone has to do this. I did the only thing a self-respecting Iowa girl who is a single mom of 3 kids with no child support could do. I cashed out my 401k and started my own company. Her mission was simple, to spread the word about annuities and life insurance products so that no one ever had to go through the same experiences that she had to go through. And the rest is history. Friends, she is an advisor to advisors, people like me. She's been featured in the Baby Boomer Dilemma documentary that has aired all over the country. I personally hosted events and showed this movie and documentary 4 different times in the Springfield area. And she has written articles and publications for Consumer Reports, Financial Advisor Magazine, Investment News, the New York Times, Senior Market Advisor, and the Wall Street Journal. And she speaks all over the world to people regarding safe financial planning. Her research has even been presented to Congress to help them better understand this aspect of financial planning. And here's the amazing thing about Cheryl's work. She recognizes the good and the bad information that exists about annuities, and she sets the record straight. Remember, she doesn't sell annuities. She's an educator. Just listen to what she says in her book. I intended to ensure that every American consumer knows that they have choices when it comes to their life insurance and retirement needs. Cheryl is one of the most respected educators in our industry. She is a national expert on life insurance and annuity products. She's an insurance spy, if you will. She worked in competitive intelligence in this industry. She has created databases on annuity and life insurance products. She created a massive database that tracked the annuities sold in the U.S., all of their features, their credited interest rates, caps, spreads, and participation rates. She knows these products inside and out, unlike many of the people who badmouth them out of their ignorance. She will even tell you why your broker or your financial professional will tell you to never buy an annuity. Here's a little hint. Follow the money. As we close the show today, just listen to what she says about she or he who controls the media, controls the financial services world. This is a quote from her new book. Ask someone if they've heard of a retirement savings vehicle that can protect their money from market losses while promising them a guaranteed income for the rest of their life, and they will eagerly respond that they are interested. You have their attention. Ask the same person if they've ever heard of an annuity, and they'll turn up their nose saying, never buy one. Why is that? She then goes on to say this. The single most frustrating thing about working in this business is how many people get it wrong when it comes to annuities. So frustrating, in fact, that for the majority of her career, Cheryl spent her time correcting every negative and inaccurate article about annuities. She goes on to say this: I've observed a slow and systematic miseducation of the general public when it comes to annuities. She even says in the early days, nearly 100% of what I was reading in the library, the newspaper, or on the internet was wrong. I don't mean a little bit wrong, I mean really bad wrong. And she said, what's even harder to stomach is the people writing the fallacies about annuities often know what they are reporting is wrong. As the nation's leading expert who educates people regarding annuities and life insurance, someone who has even addressed Congress regarding this goes on to say, I believe in annuities. I lost tons of money in my 401k when the dot-com bubble burst, not knowing annuities even existed. Oh, how I wish I had bought an annuity instead. Annuities are the only financial services product that is in a position to address the top fear of our nation's aging population, running out of money in retirement. And that is why I do what I do. Friends, there's a reason why I own 7 indexed annuities as part of my own personal retirement income plan. There's a reason why world-renowned economist Tom Hegna owns 13 annuities. And there's a reason why Cheryl Moore, who wrote the book titled Why I Own Indexed Annuities, owns 4 of them. These people are in the know, and the people who are in the know own annuities. They own several of them. So don't be fooled by the people who have agendas. Always take the time to get the facts. We've been educating people with the truth about safe financial planning products on this show for more than 15 years now. I'm a retirement income certified professional through the American College of Financial Services, and I was a 2022 Springfield Business Journal Trusted Advisor of the Year. And I'm here to help you. Call us anytime at 866-780-7233 and just request a free financial consultation. I will give you the information that has changed the lives of people all across the country absolutely free. Our number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Make sure you go online, go to YouTube, and subscribe to the Safe Money Radio podcast with Brad Pistole so you can stay on top of the information that will change your financial future. Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to Safe Money Radio. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulation while reducing exposure to market losses. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Brad Pistole, reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
You've been listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe while avoiding market loss so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call Brad Pistole now for your complimentary Safe Money book and Safe Money information kit at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or in a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. Fees may apply. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the insurance company. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified and licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are just taking the first step towards protecting your retirement. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program are subject to change without notice.